What was really interesting about construction was it was the first time where Al was in the band, and he was very much involved in the recording stuff, and also we just discovered sampling, and that really was quite a new thing. So for us it was we were going out and sampling sounds and creating stuff from building sites and stuff like that, and very influenced at the time by bands like Neubaut and Test Department and those kind of metal bashing bands. We found quite interesting to mix those influences with what we were doing in a very pop way.
You weren't an all synthesizer band when you first started. There were guitars in there, and then you eventually switched over to using strictly synthesizers. Why was that?
We felt restricted using guitars. You're just stuck with the one sound all the time. And you can't really change it. You can use flanges and effect pedals, but it's still basically the same sound.
A conventional lineup, well, sort of conventional lineup. We have a rhythm guitar, rhythm guitar, bass guitar, and a drum machine. But we dropped them. The main reason being, we didn't have transport to cart amps about. We didn't have amps, and so it seemed the sensible thing to do to turn to keyboards, where we could just play with headphones in our bedrooms. So that's what the main reason they were dropped. I mean, everyone in the band plays guitar. Alan's a drummer as well. We're very versatile. You know, we're not against using conventional instruments. It's just that we're interested specifically in sounds and songs, and sounds are very important to us. And if we feel that an acoustic guitar sound will sound good for a song, we'll use them. It's down to the old rock and roll tradition, you know, like that there must be someone with two sticks bashing it and sweating it out. You know, that's the thing. But we're not that sort of band. You know, it's not important. We don't have to have someone like sweating it out and then throwing the drumsticks in at the end. You know, it's just not the way we work. You know, we want to sell records, and if the general public don't accept us, I think they do though. I think when people listen to the radio, I don't think they say that's an electronic band.
Explore new technology and just take it as far as we can, given our talents. And
pretty big talent.
I think you can't let yourself get scared of it or push it aside. So, I mean, there's no way a machine is going to control a human being
or a song.
So, you know, as long as people aren't scared of that technology, they should be able to take it and use it to their advantage.
It is abused. That's one of the biggest
hopefully,
problems.
I mean, you can pinpoint more accurately what you're trying to do with an atmosphere for a song or something, with this huge variety of sound that you've got.
We haven't liked touring for about 4 or 5 years, but we just feel it's important because we're an electronic group to bring across a feeling that that we're not just a studio band. We have got personalities, and we are prepared to go out and play live. You know, which very few electronic groups are prepared to do that.
People imagine me to be like a real gloomy, person, and I'm not. I smile.
You don't seem gloomy to me, but
He's a very fun guy.
But the lyric content suggests, well, a troubled individual, to say the least.
I write realistically. You know, I'm not. The majority of the music that's around is false optimism. That's how we describe it.
Right.
And we're just more realistic.
A question of lust. Tell us about the song.
Okay. Well, I want you to listen to this because this is really happy song. It's a happy song. In a certain sort of way. It's not gloomy at all.
I'll take your word for it.
Listen carefully. There's some optimism in there somewhere, I think.
I think a lot of our fans listen to the lyrics very deeply, and Martin writes in a very sort of real way. He writes about real things, everyday things that happen and stuff, and the experiences that he goes through emotionally. And a lot of people go through those same emotions. There's nothing sort of hidden away. He's very honest about what he writes, really. I think over the last few years, especially the last couple of albums, it's very much a group effort. I mean, Martin comes up with the chords and the melody and stuff, and then comes to us. He usually demos very basically. He writes like an acoustic guitar and in a very traditional way, and works out the chords and stuff, and then comes to us with his song, and then Alan and I and Flood, who's a producer, will tear it apart and and then work on the arrangement and structure and sounds and where we want to take it atmosphere-wise, and we pretty much sit down and discuss it together, and it's become more of a group effort over the years. I think it's just something that Martin still just gets credited because none of us have kind of said anything about it.
How do you actually challenge yourself artistically to keep it exciting for you?
I think you have to try and keep yourself interested in what you do by finding new approaches to making music. You know, one of the things we're trying to do with our next record is to take different approaches to the way we work together. You know, and try and change just about as much as we possibly can without losing the strength of songs. Just to keep ourselves interested, because if we're interested, then the music will be interesting. I hope, you know. And if we fall into sort of easy, comfortable ways of working, then the music is likely to suffer from that. I think that's the most difficult thing for groups to do, because they do fall into comfortable ways of working and ways that they can deal with each other, you know, without too much confrontation, because confrontation is a big part of being in a group, you know. So you'll constantly have to battle for your own individual ideas to come through, you know, and it's always a compromise. So the more you face to confrontation, probably the better results you're going to actually end up with.
What is the element in music that you think draws all these people in?
Well, I think ultimately it's the songs themselves, and the song has always been the most important thing to us, and everything else is designed to enhance the song, to embellish it. And there's so much focus with the approach and the instrumentation, and I feel people often miss out on the basic fact that you have to have some good songs there in the first place. And those songs, I think people of all age groups and all types can relate to them, because they tend to be ambiguous. They tend to be about matters that concern everybody and everybody's lives, and they're open-ended enough that people can relate the words to their own lives, and I think that's what draws in all those people from those different age groups.
The audience is very much involved and very much a part of the whole event. You know, one of the things we're very conscious of is not putting ourselves on some kind of pedestal and trying to be above our audience. We try to very much stay down to earth and involve them in what we do.
It's not like hysteria, like sort of screaming at, you know, these sort of, you know, four guys up there and sort of really screaming at them because of the way they look and stuff. They're really into the music, you know. Our fans, I mean, I think we sort of see them for more than just sort of screaming at us, you know. They really get into the music and the lyrics and stuff. We have retained a certain sort of cultness to our audience has just grown with us, really, and our success has kind of built over the years as well. It's not something that happened overnight. It's taken a long while, and a lot of those people that were buying our first records are still buying our records as well, and we've gained a new audience every time we put another record out. We've managed to get more and more successful.
Into a different kind of role. One is the songwriter, one is the singer, one is the technician. You're the business person.
Yeah.
It's an amazing mixture.
I think it's the way a modern band should be, really. And I think if more bands were like that, they could run their affairs more successfully.
After 13 years, it's you know everybody's personality so well, and when there are disagreements, you can predict how they're going to go. But I think we get on as well as you can after 13 years, which is that makes it sound bad, but we actually get on well.
We don't like to really disguise the songs and stuff too much with the visuals, and we're very conscious about that. The music is the most important thing, but it goes hand in hand nowadays. You've got to, you have to make a video, and if you want people to hear your music. Since about 1986, Anton Corbijn came on board with us and helped us to really sort of to do that kind of stuff, all the videos and the artwork and the sleeves and photographs. He's kind of like our art director now, almost.
He's and we can trust him totally, and his videos aren't bland, and they're interesting, and they're challenging. Before we started working with him, which was about 3 years ago, we never found a director that we liked. We never found a photographer that we really liked, and finding Anton, it really gave us a direction. Image-wise, which we never had before, a constant sort of direction as well, not something that was changing all the time.
Idea to do it at the end of the tour, and to play a big show in California, and the Rose Bowl happened to be it in the end. But everybody was very nervous. I think after the first week, when we sold 40,000 tickets in about 5 days, everyone stopped getting nervous.
It was a very long tour, and we wanted to document it, and we felt if we didn't sort of somehow film it or make a concert film or something, we'd be wasting it really, because we put so much effort into the stage show and everything. We felt we had to document it.
We'd sold out all our gigs and stuff, and we wanted to finish the tour with a bang, you know, and so not just to finish on after 10 months constant touring. You know, we wanted to finish with a special show, so we decided to do this show in California, and you know, we ended up getting like 70,000 people turning up to this one show. And so to film, and it was the last show, so there was an added sort of tension in the fact that we were filming it, recording it, and it was the last gig. There was no, like, if it went wrong, we couldn't like say, oh well, we'll film it again tomorrow, you know.
To find the right person to direct it, and for a long time we had somebody in mind that none of us were really happy with. And it was only at the last minute that the idea of Pennebaker came along, and we met him and found that, you know, we could get on together. And you know, from that moment on, it became a much more exciting prospect, because we knew we were using someone who was very sympathetic to making that kind of film and had some kind of talent.